Frontier Fighters is here. Hello, everybody. The new patch has landed. I logged in. I let everybody know at the very beginning that the tractor beam speed is over 9,000, and I love it. Yes, it's all I care about. That's all I care about. It's all they had to do. It's all they had to do, really, to make me happy. So they updated the tractor beam speed. It's perfect. I've loaded up numerous ships in half the time. It's a very welcome upgrade. Should have happened a long time ago. It did happen. Thank God. Love that. Now, all of the new patch, Frontier Fighters, we are going to go over. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is an everything 4.3.2 that I can pack in extravaganza. And if you get tired of me, skip around. I'm going to put timestamps and chapters on this. We're going to go over the new ships. We're going to go over an armor set that everybody's looking for and the location of that. And we're going to go over the reviews of the new ships. So let's check out what we got first off here. And let's see Mr. Kraken, who I really love. And I should subscribe to this man, which I just did. Mr. Kraken makes wonderful Star Citizen videos. Highly recommend them. I'll link this afterwards.
The final time-limited event of Star Citizen's Pyro Must Burn story is due to arrive later today when Fractured Frontiers, aka Alpha 4.3.2, goes to live. The Frontier Fighters finale, which I was really hoping was just a working title, is broken up into 3 weekly phases, with Hangar-attributed awards up for grabs for each phase. Citizens for Prosperity and the Headhunters are once again asking for help to deal with Amelia Boyd's Frontier Fighters once and for all. But they're not just in Pyro.
Total Headhunters,
this event
by the way,
can also be completed in Stanton, as the Frontier Fighters have snuck back in and are hiding out in derelict outposts, new underground facilities and forward operation bases, and around asteroid mining bases. In fact, if you choose to do this event in Pyro, you are actually putting yourself at a disadvantage, as there is no increased reward and the locations are generally more complicated to deal with for the exact same contracts. As ever, if you're looking for a handy reference, I've made a one-page guide.
This guy is so good. I'm going to link him right now. I highly recommend that everybody just take the time to go to this guy's channel and subscribe right now. I watch this guy on a continual basis. Very entertaining, very factual. He's got like reference sheets and links, everything that you need. Awesome channel. If you don't know who Mr. Kraken is, now you do.
With the high-res version available from the RSI Community Hub or my Discord server, both linked down below. The contracts are split into different payout sizes, with the lowest offering 24,000 AUEC and, more importantly, 50 points towards the associated week's goal.
Also, I love these new kind of community goal screens right here.
More important,
I don't like that the journal has it. By the way, I am going to pause this quite a bit for people just want to like jump to 4.3.2 information. Just go to the chapters, okay? I'm going to label everything, but I want to add some commentary in here because there's some improvements that I know that could be done very easily in Mobiglass right now on the UI. And basically what I'm looking for is that the journal actually is kind of categorized very small, much smaller than this, in a Windows operating system format where each, like there's an economic folder, or, you know, like this area here could be so much better organized. You could put folders in here and you click on the folder and each category, there's subcategories. And like this is just really messy and random. And at this point makes them look very unprofessional. Who agrees with that? I have to say, I do like that they have the community format. Like, I love this part.
50 points.
Like, I love this. Totally reminds me of Elite Dangerous, you know, and community goals inside of Elite Dangerous. I love this. Betty's agreeing with me. Okay, cool. I'm not the only one. But, like, I really like how they're keeping tabs on the totals, which I'm fascinated by this. I love this. And I'm thinking if they can do something like this, we should start seeing some type of UI related to assets, buy and sell orders. This is the very, like, people don't get this, but this is when I start seeing like items being tabulated, items being turned in, and there being a counter like this. I start to think that they're trying to put their foot in the door to a UI system that's better acquainted and oriented with economics. Does anybody else get that feeling? Yeah, right, fingers. Like, I'm starting to feel like they're able to code in this into the UI, and like I'm starting to feel like now we're getting to like the baby steps. Like this is the origin point of kind of a format that we could maybe get into. Maybe I'm on the hopium side of things on this one. I might be, because I'm a super economic geek, but I really do want this incorporated somehow into what I'm talking about. So I know they watch me. There you go. I think that's all of our input. I think we believe that this is what we're looking for.
Awards the associated with
it's an upgraded
gold.
reputation.
Then there's 44K, which awards 75 points, and the largest 71K payout, giving 100 points. And yes, if you share the contract with a party member, you both earn the full points. The AUEC is split. Like Resource Drive, you can track your progress in a jazzy journal entry at the time of writing this.
No, Mr. Kraken, it isn't jazzy. Dude, it's not jazzy. It's broken. Say it like it is. Mr. Kraken, I love you, but just say shit like it needs to be said. I am a big proponent of Star Citizen. You all know that. But like when I see something that needs to be fixed, it needs fixed, period.
Script. There's been no official word on whether there'll be any changes to Pyro, or if there's a hidden reward coming later based on which faction has the most points at the end of the event. Either someone's put some Drake tape over Elliot's mouth,
RSI
or
Apollo
there's
giveaway,
actually
by the
nothing
way.
to tell.
Thank you,
I am quite
Aether.
curious to know if you
Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel, Aether. I love you, bro. Thanks for that love and support, dude. It means a lot to me.
prefer, like Resource Drive, or you'd rather CIG keep
What's up,
their
big man?
secrets and keep
Was great
people
seeing
guessing.
everybody at CitizenCon, by
Let
the
me know
way.
in the comments. As the weeks go on, the earlier contracts will still be available, but just remember that in order to progress your total for that week, you need to run the contracts with the same tags. Week 1 is the recon phase, and in what feels like a bit of a
I got to share this information too with you. It took me a while to get in, and I was like 7,432 in line. And it took about 35 minutes, even though it said it was going to take an hour to get in 4.3.2. When I got in, a lot of my items were not in my inventory, all the usual stuff. General chat was like filled with crybabies. Some of them that are veterans, shame on you. I saw you in there. You know who I'm talking about. And you were bitching and crying, and I called you out. And I said, what are you doing in here? Crying and bitching. You know what happens every single patch. Yeah, we want to better. This is kind of where we're at right now. This is what happens. Shame on you. And I also pushed the shame bell, and people said they could hear it, and they thought it was fucking hilarious. I'm just letting you guys know. I put it in the game just like I put it down here on the internet, man. I mean, we all know how these patches go, for God's sake. And I have to say, Tractor Beam's the best part. Tractor Beam so far is the best part. And, you know, all the new kind of missioning here that we're going into this new patch, you know, I just wanted to drop it on, get to my drug run that I just found that I'm not telling anybody about. That's actually quite amazing, a UEC per hour. It's pretty nice. And I'm finding things that aren't generally in tools, which are really, really nice when you find like runs on your own. And it just takes a lot of hours to figure it out. But when you figure it out, it is juicy. And I have to say, man, I kind of looking at this a little bit differently. I still think the rewards need raised up, though. I'm even in the drug running field. In fact, especially in the drug running field, still doesn't pay enough either. You know, like every one of these loops that I have tried over the past year and a half and really dove into this game, right? The rock mining needs more. Right. Thank you. Remember that, kids. Drugs are bad. Talking about a video game. Great. Thank you, Chris. He says drugs are bad. I just realized somebody could clip exactly what I just said, and I talked about how my new profession was drug running, and that could be totally taken out of context. Go ahead and clip that. But anyhow, I think that profession needs a raise as well. So rock mining needs a raise. Mining needs a raise. Salvaging needs a raise. Now, there's all new types of salvaging. We might go through it in this particular. I would love to if we picked it up on the end of this. So let me shut up and let's get back to the video.
tongue-in-cheek callback. This phase focuses entirely on retrieving data pads and delivering them to the local station freight elevator. There are 2 flavors of this contract, either find a missing friendly operative or hunt down a Frontier Fighters commander. These also come in various sizes, with the 24k contracts in Stanton taking you to derelict settlements for an easy in and out, the 44k to good old bunkers, which have hostile turrets once again, so you'll need to either take care of them or avoid them. And the 71k contract goes to forward operation bases that are protected by a single missile turret. It's good to see them being used more, and we just need some loot there.
Yeah, we need some a little bit different. Like first, the turrets were like crazy overpowered. Like when they started bringing out bunkers, and originally, like you guys remember how OP those turrets were, and then like we figured it out, and then they stopped, and now they're bringing them back like this in this weak sauce. So it's a very mixed bag with these bunkers. I just saw a video by, I think his name is Kaboo Bops or something like that. He's like he's a young kid. He's in his 20s. He's kind of like telling people how to make the fastest money they can. And I've seen a couple videos of them, and some of them hit and others don't. And you know, the funniest thing, when people put that out there, then Cloud Imperium must be watching this kid 24/7, because the second he finds something like an exploit or a mission that's paying extra or a certain type of bunker running that'll get you over 500,000 UEC, you know what ends up happening? It goes away. And then in his comment section, at the very top of his comment section, there's people that go, oh, this doesn't exist anymore. Like, and then there's people in his comment section that are pissed with him because they're like, dude, you know, like, you're giving away this to everybody, and the second that you do this, we're losing money. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing at it all. Because I'm both a content creator and somebody in the comment section bitching at this kid. And it's really funny when I read other comments from people and I'm on the other side and I'm like actually one of the people watching, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
As for Pyro, the same contracts almost entirely take you to asteroid bases that have turret protection, enemy NPC ships, and of course, having to go in via EVA. There are rare contracts that will take you to a planetary outpost for the 24k contract, but now apply these comments to Phase 2, and I don't need to mention Pyro again, because why in the name of Chris would you bother? Especially as there are only 2 dedicated game servers for the whole of the system, compared to Stanton's 8. Once you hit 50...
Listen, I'm loving Pyro. You know, I'm getting in some certain confrontations there, and there might not be as many servers because maybe the player cap isn't as big because everybody's a fucking pussy.
Yes, you're not gonna hate me. Yes.
What'd he say? What did this man say? You heard me. I called them pussies. Get your ass over to Pyro and quit being pussies. Get over there to Pyro, okay? You know, the thing why there's only 2 servers there, because they figure that all the people are being handheld. And Stanton is the reason that there's more people there, and it's a safer place, and we need to apply more of the servers towards the safe place where we're holding all the little babies. Oh, damn, you see what I'm doing? Listen, the danger's going to drift where the danger's going to drift, right? It goes back and forth between the systems, but it's something beautiful about Pyro. I don't know what it is, man. I just love that system. I'm so happy it's here. Like, Pyro's just very fun for me. I'm having a great time in it. Like, really.
1,500 points. What's with up, that Wookie? Faction, you'll be awarded a set of clothes to your hangar. And as far as I'm aware, like with Resource Drive, you can earn both factions' rewards.
Grizzy,
Week 2 will see us performing some highly questionable acts in the siege phase. The order of the week is a lot of ship-based combat, utilizing the asteroid mining base, ambush archetype, scaling from light fighter targets through to medium fighters, or spicy missile birds, to the highest paying for a Cutlass Black. As ever, all have escorts, but you can mostly just make a beeline for the target as soon as it arrives and have it destroyed before the escorts do too much damage to you, and you can make a hasty retreat. Then there's the Phase 2 FPS combat contracts, which have us going to Stanton aid shelters and underground facilities to destroy medgel recharging units, which Amelia Boyd quite rightly calls us out for on contract completion.
Oh, damn, you're just going in there after the goo, man. You're magooing it down up in here.
In the regen crisis, you'd think our goal would be to steal the med gel instead of simply spaff it all over the floor.
You're making a statement with your bullets, you understand, Mr. Kraken? Sometimes it's not worth it to steal that goo. Sometimes you just gotta shoot it. Sometimes you just gotta blow it up.
Hey ho, maybe there'll be a footnote in the next loading screen about it. Completing phase 2 at 1,750 points will award you a Grey Cat MTC paint. Liberation for CFP and Reaper for Headhunters. Unfortunately, due to an attribution bug on PTU, I only got awarded the CFP paint.
Cover that up.
The final phase is Takedown, where we get to do a remix of the Hunt the Polaris event from Invictus Launch Week to deal with Amelia Boyd once and for all, at least 10 times, to get the Arrow and Spirit paints. Usual patrol procedures apply, head to the objective markers and then focus scan the beacons. Don't shoot them if they turn red beforehand though. Wait until you've followed the active objective step and it updates telling you to destroy it. This should minimize any bug entanglement. Deal with the enemies that spawn in, then rinse and repeat for the remaining markers. And then it's on to the Polaris fight, which, let's be...
Homeboy did this already. This thing just dropped today and he did it for everybody. And not only that, he recorded it, edited it, and put it out the same day. Like literally hot off the presses hours ago.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna eat me.
Brutally honest here is highly likely to just be a load of solo Idrises with a smattering of why can't we still work for Frontier Fighters PvP as an aperitif. With the event over, paints awarded to your hangar, it's time to start the wait for not only IAE, but the beginnings of Nyx. And while you do that, 4.3.2 also gives you the hunt for the Palatino armor at hostile distribution centers.
Which we're going to go over. There is a video that explains to you how to get the Palantino armor, which very Palmetto.
Sitcom bundle weapon searching in contested zones, or you can take on the Shock THUR twins down underneath Onyx Site B. Guides for 2 of those things are already up on my channel, so be sure to check them out.
So we'll
Until
go over
the next
that.
one, fellow citizens.
We'll go over that later, but next in line are the 3 new ships. So we got 3 new ship reviews done here by Evenlease. Now, Evenlease reminds me of like a car salesman. So, you know, like he's just going to give us like the brochure of the ships. I don't know if he's going to get into the details. We just found this. I personally just found this guy last week. Somebody threw it in the Discord. I put it in there. I like the shots. I like some of the commentary, but it feels a lot of times when I watch Evenlease that he's trying to sell me a ship. So let's see if that vibe is still there. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes, more or less ship.
Listen, the Stinger looks fantastic. I love Esperia. It's probably my second favorite manufacturer. Like I would say Drake, Esperia. I want to say Aegis, but I'm not quite. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. There's a lot in the 3rd spot. There's a lot of competition in that 3rd spot.
Review right behind me, the brand new Esperia Stinger. Let's go ahead and take a look.
It looks like a beetle, man. Like I love the overall look. It looks like an alien beetle that eats flesh. It's ready to go. Dude, that Black Widow paint was the bomb, dude. Like I love that paint. A Bappy, right? I haven't heard the news on the Stinger yet, though. What are you guys thinking of it? Who's flying it out there? Who got the chances to fly this? I'm not quite sure if it's effective or what people are saying about it. We'll see. It's one of the beefier of the Vandal frames on ships for sure. When you're comparing it to like the Glaive and. Is it a heavy fighter class? Is that what this is? What's up, Seraph? Heavy. Got a Romulan vibe, yeah.
All right, welcome back to another review. Today, the Esperia Stinger, a brand new ship released during CitizenCon. Thank you, WinRAR42, Cypher1, and What124, as well as Zero Grav for joining me on today's review to get some good combat footage, as well as the rest of it. So thank you very much. This ship is $290 if you were to buy it Warbond on the Pledge Store, or if you buy it via store credit, it's $315. It is not available to purchase in game just yet,
the chair goes up,
and it won't be for a few months. Now, it will be coming to the live server within the next few days, but it won't be available to purchase for probably a few months in game at least. You can buy it on the Pledge Store and fly it now via the PTU or live, man. And it does have a 25-minute and a
Wooksy, why you gotta ruin this for me, man? Now I can't stop seeing vagina, which is pretty normal actually, so I don't know what I'm complaining about, but I will say this though, you ruined the ship for me, okay? Booksy, you ruined this ship. I cannot fly around in a vagina, man. How dare you?
15-second claim time,
dare you,
or if you were to expedite it, it is 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Definitely a little higher than usual with a lot of your combat variant ships. So that's
it's getting a little creepy because Wooksy's like, not just the outside, you understand, DG? The inside too. Wooksy. We got to get Wooksy outside. Somebody help Wooksy out. We got to get him out there touching grass right now. Yeah. Oh, what's going on? Stop this. Pepe. What is going on here, Pepe? What? Okay, you put a... Did you... It's getting a little rowdy in here. Listen, everybody. This is a live night. Anything could happen. I'm apologizing for them. I currently, look, Pepe put him on a ban. No, we wouldn't do that to you guys.
Interesting choice. Now, I do want to tell you right off the bat, this ship will probably change pretty quickly, either while it's in the PTU or within the next few months on the live server, just because it's currently released in kind of a bad shape. And let me explain why. It is a very, very gorgeous ship. The look of this ship is beautiful. I think it's the best looking Esperia ship we have currently in the game. It has a fantastic look, and it looks like it's ripped straight from Squadron 42. And
yeah, in fact, that's probably what exactly this is. They're bringing over assets into the game. It's very cool, actually, sliding over work from Squadron 42 to the PU, and people buying this up, $300 approximately. I haven't seen sales yet. Have you guys seen the sales figures coming in from these ships? I would imagine pretty massive. I would imagine pretty massive. Usually CitizenCon has pretty good numbers, even though CitizenCon was like CitizenCon Direct this year. Shout out to everybody that made it last week to CitizenCon. Congratulations, Phaelorn, for the Meteor win. It was a fun giveaway night, and it was just a fun time all in all.
It probably is, but that's about the best thing about it is its looks right now. It does have a total of 4,197 burst damage per second due to the guns that you have on it, but I take that very lightly because those guns run out of capacitor within a few seconds, and then you have the issue of just being a sitting duck.
Dude, who said this looks kind of Cylon? Was it you, DJ? DJ, you're pretty dead on at that angle with those lasers coming out.
You do have 4 size 4 light strike 4 laser cannons on this thing, and then 2 size 2 light strike 2 laser cannons, which you can replace those guns. And I suggest immediately replacing them with a ballistic of some sort to free up your capacitors and your energy use, because currently you can't set your power distribution at all on this ship without wiping out all of your coolers, and then you're still struggling. So if you put ballistic Gatlings or ballistic cannons, you're going to have a lot better power distribution on the ship, as well as not running out of laser capacity immediately. So hopefully they double or triple the amount of capacitor for laser weaponry on this ship, because currently in a fight it feels very difficult to win against pretty much the majority of ships out there, unless the ship you're fighting is less maneuverable than you, because then you can...
There's a lot still has to be done with all the in-game the ship interiors and components and engineering. I don't think people understand there's a lot of work to be done on these interiors and new game loops. A lot. I'd say they're getting pretty close to putting engineering out to a phase where everybody's going to be upset. You see those little screens that says coming sooner. You click into those little engineering panels, man. Those will light up, and then we'll have a whole new game loop. And then you're going to see people just start to whine and moan and get mad right off the bat. This is the way. The people that have been involved with Star Citizen know this is the way. And this happens every time they're introducing new game loops. And people, the change hits. They're going to put it in there as a test bed. It's the first baby step, and then everybody lights up. And everybody goes fucking nuts and insane. And it's like, okay, everybody, take a moment, step back. It's in development. Realize what they're doing. They're taking out the time. They're putting it here for you. And then we're going to change it around. And we're going to change it 5 million times. Because that's what happens until we like it. That is my point with this. Like, with ship interiors, there is so much work still to be done with ship interiors and game loops inside that I just don't think people understand like how much different it's going to be in a few years compared to like right now. It's going to be like a brand new experience in larger type of ships. Now, I'm not saying necessarily in this one. I'm kind of talking about like larger size ships. This is like a heavy fighter, I believe that Wooksy was saying. This is the class of this ship, but like on Corvette size, cap ship size, you know, you're going to see all new gameplay associated with like larger ships, and people are just going to get so angry as these implementations happen. At the very end of it, it's going to be a wonderful experience, but going through it, it's like everybody's lighting torches and getting their pitchforks ready. You know?
Kind of just outmaneuver the ship in front of you,
BMM,
and recharge
Kraken,
your guns over time.
Sails,
you also have one size 5 wraith plasma cannon, which is a bespoke weapon on this ship, like Esperia ships tend to have. Now that gun, it has only 13 shots, and then you run out of capacity and then run into the same issue, and then you got to keep clicking your mouse and being like, come on, shoot, and then it also has a slower round speed as the other guns, so you also have a differing, and then you also have 2 different pips. So your light strikes and your wraith have 2 different pips, which makes it a little bit more difficult to aim. So when it comes down to the firepower, it feels like it's there, but it's just struggling right now due to the capacitor issue, the pip concern. There's a lot of issues with that for this being such a capable Esperia strike craft. And then you do have an assortment of missiles on board with a total of 16 size 2 bullet 2 missiles, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a decent payload of missiles on here, allowing you to output even more damage, but like I said, those laser cannons are going to run a capacitor. So,
dude, that is so vicious looking, man. The design on that, the aesthetics, the people that put the Stinger out, man. I gotta say, bravo. That is such a sick looking ship, dude. I mean, the ship designers on this knocked it out of the park. The aesthetics are great. Now, as far as utility and the function, I'm not sure, but just the looks of it is like, boom, like nailed it. Points, voracious, vandal, knives, attack vectors. Man, this thing's crazy looking, man. This is sick. I really just want to get this just to fucking stare at it. It's beautiful, man. I love Esperia. Like I just love what comes out of Esperia.
That the missiles really won't do too much for you. And that's too bad. It's such a beautiful looking ship. Now you do have 2 size 2 shield generators outputting 9,480 bubble shields. So for a heavy fighter, that's awesome. I love that.
Look at what Wooksy sent me, man. Trying to show me that the inside does in fact look like a vagina. Kids, close your eyes. Close your eyes here as we. It's not the kind of vagina I'd ever want to get into because of the color. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we called that a blue pancake, and everybody needs to stay away from that. Okay. Okay. However, I understand this is the shape. I understand that you're continuing on with vagina thoughts, Wooksy. This is a thing that happens with men. We think about vagina a lot. Sorry, ladies. If there's any ladies watching. We just offended all of them, except for lesbians. They maybe could handle this conversation. Hi, lesbians. thank you for continually watching this. Probably because this looks like a vagina. That's why we're watching it right now. However, Wooksy, I think that we got to take you outside. And who agrees with me? We need Wooksy just to go outside and touch some grass. His mind is still on the vagina on a public show on the internet, basically bearing it all for everybody, letting people know that he's just beating a dead horse. You understand? He's just beating a dead horse, man.
I'd love to see that. It's a good amount of shield strength for a heavy fighter. Could it be better? Yes. Could it be worse? Absolutely. I mean, look at the new Shiv.
I love being here. Thank you, everybody,
a heavy fighter as
for having fun with me tonight.
You do have 36,614 ship HP, and looking at the spread here, it's not that great. And if you start losing wings, you end up looking like this.
Oh,
it looks like flying.
It looks like it should without its wings and shit. It looks like it should just go down like that actually is one of the the first physics that I'm actually okay with in Star Citizen is like that thing just went down like a corkscrew, dude. Like that was kind of cool actually. I don't necessarily think that was a bad thing. You understand? Let's look at that footage again. Hold on a second. Let's see this.
Wings, you end up looking like this.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
It looks like
it's pretty damn alien. Yeah, it's pretty. You want a slow-mo on that one? Hold on a second. My internet son needs a slow-mo on this. Hold on a second. All right. You ask, you shall receive. My internet son asks for slow-mo. That is what he's going to that is what he's going to get. Hold on. Here we go. Super slow-mo.
The spread here, it's not that great, and if you start losing wings, you end up looking like this. And it looks like flying, crap in the sky. Because
thank you. I was even. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's the beautiful part of this show. We call that the slow-mo section. And sometimes it just works out so right. Retro was so very right on calling that slow-mo. Good job. Let's hear it for Retro. My internet son called it. That was pretty damn good, Retro. You were on point, dude. You were on point with that call.
It's just rotating out of control. You lose your wings, and you're going to have a lot of trouble with this ship. Not looking good. But surprisingly, you still had control over the size 5 gun, which was cool. And
I'm
then
so happy
you
to be
have
here,
207 SCM as your top speed with a 440 forward boost, a 230 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 1,050. So
listen, I know I'm the pause master and the master of different pause tangents, but I'm also called the banana fountain, and thank you for everybody respecting that. Thank you.
Banana fountain.
Thank you. My ego is very satiated tonight. Back to 4.3.2.
Speed-wise, it's comparable to heavy fighters out there. Not so much the Shiv. I feel like the Shiv is a medium fighter. It really is. It needs to be classed as a medium. This ship, though, it does definitely feel like a heavy fighter. It feels very heavy, very floaty. The speed's not so great. Your pitch yaw rolls at a 30, 26, 90, with it boosted at a 36, 31, 108. So again, it's very floaty. Almost feels like a constellation. So I hope they up that by about 5 or 10 points, and then they give a bit more capacitor on the guns. Make this the fearsome Vandal ship that it should be. Now, you do have 48 flare.
I love how he says that. Make this the fearsome Vandal ship that it should be. Like, this dude, hold on. I'm telling you what, this guy is total ship salesman right now here. How am I not subscribed to this dude? I don't know how to feel. Sometimes I feel like he's trying to sell this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn it, Evenlease, you are definitely a ship salesman.
Flares and 5 noise, which is typical across any fighters out there. And then you have 36 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.35 SCU of quantum fuel. Now, another big thing about this ship is it does not have a components pass. No gold standard components pass. You have some buttons, so I guess you could say it's got its gold standard. But gold standard means that components...
Look at that line coming out the back, that red alien fume, just like, whoa, man, that is deadly. I love it.
Yes, sir.
So there as well, right? This ship doesn't have components. It doesn't have storage access. You do have a weapons locker and you do have a relay station. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. We are at the entry of this ship. This is where you're going to go ahead and get on board here. It's a really neat looking craft. This thing feels alive. I mean, like, we're going to do a sound test here in a second and you'll see exactly what I mean.
I love it because nothing is built to human standard here. Like, it's built to Vandal height. It's built like it looks alien. Like, it looks like you're going into like some type of weird ass cocoon or some hornet's nest or something, you know. Like, it doesn't even feel natural, you know. I just love the way they're designing these ships, man.
But when you enter via the ship here in this rib cage looking section, you're going to see there's not much to it. It has an interior, but almost feels, why does it have an interior? You do have the ability to close it here. And once you go ahead and close that, it would close on up. And then you can choose different light systems. So you can go lights off, which looks pretty cool. I like that. And then once you're actually getting attacked and stuff, it does go into the emergency style section when you take too much damage, which looks like this. It's a pretty cool light function on this ship. So let's go ahead and get the lights just back onto its normal state, which is surprisingly a very red and menacing look to it. And then you got your weapons locker right here to your right. You can go ahead and put weapons right on in here and 3 handguns up here. And then over here, you got your relay station. And that's it. That's all there is to it. No components.
I wouldn't know exactly where to, Grizz. I'm sorry, I'm not that good yet.
It'll probably be on the top of the ship and not even on the interior, because looking around here, none of this looks like it would open up in any sort of form or fashion.
These are
just lights, as you can see. They go all the way through the back. So I don't even see buttons for it. It's probably going to be on the exterior somewhere. Now, there's even more wasted space here on the interior with the way that you enter the pilot seat. While it's a really cool animation, and I think congratulations CIG for how cool it is.
Hell yeah.
This whole roller coaster track here to get to the pilot seat is truly just too wasteful for me.
You're going to make me want to watch
that, dude. I wish we had a little bit more interior with maybe a small bed in there. That would have been really cool. But here's your cockpit. You get in here, it looks really...
Dude, I like that shit. That's like, it's a small world after all. This is a fucking Disney ride. Look at this shit.
CIG for how cool it is. This whole roller coaster track here to get to the pilot seat is truly just too wasteful.
Fuck you with your wasteful. Stop it. You see, now, this is where I disagree, and this is why we watch here on this channel. Okay, what's up, Storm? How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Glad to have you back home, bro. Listen, Evenly, I just subscribed to you. Okay, I'm just letting you know. So, you know, I appreciate what it is you're doing, but I'm just going to have to disagree with you. That was a roller coaster ride. If you're from the 90s, dude, you're like enjoying this. You want that. Sometimes you want wasteful space. Who are you to say if the space is wasteful or not? It's an alien spaceship, not made for humans. Can I get an amen? All aliens understand.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
Being an alien, I can tell you that that particular portion of the ship was built aesthetically to calm your mind, and that is not necessarily wasteful, depending upon your perspective. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm an alien.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
Some people look at that space and they say it's wasteful, and generally that's probably most of humanity. Because I'm an alien, I can tell you that that wasteful space that you called wasteful very disrespectfully was actually a space to expand your mind. You understand?
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
This is the importance of alien technology and design. God, humans. God. Damn it.
For me, I wish we had a little bit more interior with maybe a small bed in there. That would have been really cool. But here's your cockpit. You get in here, it looks really cool. You almost got like this spider web design on your MFD.
That's sweet. Like, I love the exterior aesthetic. I love the interior aesthetic. This ship is knocking it out for me. Like, aesthetically, I hope to God this thing is a beast. You know, I hope they focus on this one to be a beast, because it would be such a shame and a waste if this thing didn't do what it needed to do, which looks like it kicks ass and takes names.
Which is pretty neat. And then your view is just kind of limited around you. Not much above you, not much around you. There's just not too much going on, which is just too bad. We're going to go into a PvP fight here in just a second against a F8, as well as a Corsair and a Super Hornet, just to see how she fares.
Oh, boy.
But first...
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Please do well. Don't fail here.
Let's do the sound test.
Ooh. Oh!
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
stuff. Ooh, man. That is tasty. That is tasty. I mean, after what they did with the Corsair, it's not a surprise. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. This thing is going to be slow on its turns. It's not taking out any probably smaller, like the smaller fighter meta is just like they whip around you and it's like game over pretty much. But eventually, like, I heard something about a new flight mode being leaked. I would like to watch something tonight on that later after this 4.3.2 drop. Saying I'm not sure it was a new flight model. I saw a couple things out there on YouTube that said new flight model, but Retro at my internet son is saying he's not sure it was a new flight model, but maybe changes to the master modes. This Hornet's gonna chew it up, dude. But yeah, this Hornet's gonna, yeah. Right.
right, as you can see, this thing does damage, but it's just really hard to output a lot of it at a good amount of time. And if a ship or a pilot is good enough to know this and can get around you and outmaneuver you, or just know when you're running out of capacitor, if you're running the stock build, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to take a lot of damage very quickly, and it's not going to be a good time. So with that and everything else about this ship, it's missing its components, the interior, waste of space, there's a lot of things about it. I'm honestly giving this ship a 70 out of 100. Its maneuverability doesn't feel good. Its guns lacking capacitor. Overall, I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes to this ship even soon, maybe potentially even while it's still in the PTU and before it hits live. And if any changes come to
the thing is it's still too early right now to call the fact that this thing is not going to be. I mean, you know, in terms of its angling, in terms of the actual yaw and the pitch. Okay, yeah, right. And unless they change the code for the actual flight mechanics of the Stinger. However, when we're talking about like modules, when we're talking about how to fit the ship, there's so long to go. There's just, like, I get it. They're grading it for right now where we're at. I understand, but like even within the confines of where we're at right now, you can still fit this ship to serve not a different purpose, but make it a better ship. Like fit it so that it's an actual better ship. So I'm not quite sure on Even Lease's acumen on PvP. I'm not quite sure if Even Lease is a great PvPer or is a great outfitter of ships. So I'm not sure I'm going to take that part of his critique well, because I just haven't watched enough of him yet to know if he's actually very active in PvP and outfitting ships. I'm not quite sure what his level of skill is there. From watching him PvP, it looked a little bit rough. However, much more than the standard average everyday Star Citizen who's never even gotten into PvP engagement, which there's a very large proportion of people that have never done that, which is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Even with a mouse and a keyboard, because my flight sticks are messed up, I still get myself in PvP engagements from time to time. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Yeah. And I've won. I've won a couple too. Usually when they're really horrible. But damn, I miss my flight sticks. I'm going to ask for flight sticks this Christmas. It's time I get the flight sticks back. It's time I go hardcore PvP mode again, man. You know, I have been space dadding it for a little bit. I have been. I miss the blood and the excitement and the explosions. I get myself into that now, but I'm very limited. You understand? Like, there's so many times I'm just like I just want to, you know.
To it before it goes live, I'll make sure to make a whole new video and talk about it, because I feel like it does need to be discussed, right? It's a brand new ship. It's brought over from Squadron 42. My kids dropped them on the floor years ago. It's lacking a lot of its features. Its interior space is kind of funny to me. It really is really just funny compared to a lot of your new ships. All
right. Next ship. Let's see here. 4.3.2 Extravaganza. We are now going to get into the Paladin. All right. Anvil Paladin, let's go.
Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the brand new Anvil Paladin. Let's go ahead and take a look.
This reminds me of like an upgraded Deemer. It kind of feels like, or maybe not. Maybe it's downgraded Deemer. Maybe it's kind of like a Deemer unto itself. That's a cool kind of paint.
All right, welcome back to another review.
I'm not sold on the aft design of it. I'm not sold on the aft, but it definitely has a look to it. It definitely is a unique looking ship.
You Heinrich, thank you, Cypher 1, Zero Grav, Seraph Omega, What124, and Archangel 8 for joining me on this review and assisting with the views, the shots, and everything else that has to do with the brand new Anvil Paladin, which is right in front of me. This ship is $325 if you were to buy it War Bond, or if you buy it store credit, it's $350. Definitely not a terrible price for what it does for you. But again, it's kind of a ship like any other ship. You can always wait for it to become available in-game via, just being able to purchase it for a certain amount of UEC or, Wicklow, because it will end up there probably in about 3 to 6 months. And I would totally suggest buying this if you have a group of friends and you love doing something.
So, okay, let me get this straight. We got 2 turrets. We got on the port and starboard side, we got 2 turrets. Size, what, 2, 3? And then on the top, it looks like, what, size 5? Are there 4 turrets or 3 turrets?
With a ship like this, it does have a 24-minute claim time, or if you were to expedite it, it is 6 minutes. Now, all these stats are bound to change. I'm talking about firepower, health, shield, maneuverability, speed. They're all bound to change because it's a ship in the PTU. It's not live yet. It has another couple days, maybe a week to go. So consider this the PTU review. If any of the stats change, I will update it for the live release. Otherwise, there was one other paint that initially was announced with this ship that we tried to get working, but it wouldn't work for some reason. Not sure why. So let's talk about what this ship can do. It does have a ton of firepower. Overall, combined, it's 8,181 burst damage per second. That would be 3,272 via the pilot if nobody occupies.
That's pretty badass looking,
Those side guns, and then that top turret is 4,910, and then on each side, per side, those 2 guns output 1,636 damage per second. So again, overall 8,100 damage per second burst if you were targeting the same exact target. It does have 4 size 5 CF557 Galderines on that top turret, which is a remote turret, and 4 size 4 CF447 Rhinos, 2 on each wing. And those are also
all right, size 4s on the sides. Nice.
Remote turrets controlled by the bottom co-pilots or bottom gunners of this ship. The pilot also has 8 size 3 Arrestor 3 missiles and 2 size 4 Raptor 4 missiles. Or torpedoes, which you can actually change that to where you're carrying 6 Raptor 4s.
That's totally a Scorp kind of design
right there. Size 1s if you wanted to, but I think the armament it comes with is pretty great. I'll probably swap them all out for size 4 torpedoes because I think that would just look...
Totally dig it. Had that Scorp design, how it rolled over around like that. That was fucking amazing. I like that. That is tight. That's tight. I love how that turret just comes and slides right down like that. That is sweet, man. These ship designers are killing it, man. Killing it. Listen, the funny thing is the next ship we're going to get into is the Shiv from Gray's Market, who a lot of people are saying I look like that motherfucker, and I want royalty checks, by the way.
Look really cool and be pretty effective. Now, you do have 1 size 3 shield generator outputting 63,400 quadrant shield, which is a ton of shield strength. It really does come in handy for a ship like this. It is a gunship. It's not a drop ship. It's not something meant to land troops, even though it technically could because it has the space for guns to carry, armor to carry, and you have plenty of room in there to, sit a special forces team down on the ground and go, hey, when we get here, you get out, take your guns, and go take that area, which it could totally do that. This ship does have 149,820 ship HP, which, like I said, these stats are bound to change. That ship HP sounds really high. Let's look at the breakdown really quick. As you can see, this is how it's spread. There are quite a few elements to this ship, but it still has a ton of ship HP and a good amount of shield strength, so I don't think you're going to be able to crack this nut that easily, just because it's a ship that has a lot of firing angles on every one of those turrets, allowing you to pretty much cover
I'll show you the X post I put out on it.
Space.
I got a lot of DMs
cool. So if a ship is circling you and you have all those guns occupied, there's a good chance they're going to continue to get hit while you're sitting there pretty with that health pool and that shield. This ship does have a top SCM speed of 175, 340 forward boost, and a 200 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 950.
I like
it's not going to win any races. It's not a ship meant to be fast. It's not a lighter, medium, or heavy fighter. It's a gunship. This thing is supposed to have a total of 4 crew and output a ton of power.
And also the role of these gunships should should be to peck off light fighters like mad.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hit me.
So when the blades come out, targeting needs to be like on point. Like, I really want the turret gameplay to be upgraded so that these become much more lethal in their role. Gunships should come rolling in onto the stage, and they should be wiping out light fighters left and right. Who in here agrees with me? Push a 1. This is not just like a ground support, gun you down on like ground vehicle ship. This is like on the in space, shooting down light fighters like a fucking mad beast, making light fighters scared of it. Right, like, because the meta on light fighters has been so rough that it only makes sense this is where they need to focus. I'm glad I'm getting tons of 1s in here. I totally think this is where Cloud Imperium needs to go. Is the turret gameplay has to seriously up its game. You have got to focus so much on that turret gameplay and make it so that these turrets are much more deadly. Targeting, there needs to be more work done on targeting and ease of use when you're down in the gunner, when you're in those pits and in those gunner canopies. You need full control and range of motion. More of the design of these ships, I'm noticing that, where you have a lot more range of motion. Look at the turret. Look at the top portion, how it slides down underneath. I just absolutely love that about that turret. Very Scorpion. And I love that it's size 5 and size 4s on the side. I love the design of the ship. I just want the turret gameplay to be upgraded so that these light fighters start popping like popcorn all around, and then maybe things will start to change. You know, I think that could be the next step.
While, you know, kind of sitting at a decent enough speed to patrol with a fleet of any size, really, and just do immense amount of damage. You do have a 23, 19, 45 pitch yaw roll. So again, like I said, you're not going to be outmaneuvering anything. So if you're out there trying to fight light fighters, medium fighters, and even heavy fighters, you need to have your guns occupied, because you're going to get your bottom kicked in if you don't. If they're not occupied, you're going to have a really tough time. It doesn't matter your shield or health strength. You're going to have to use that speed to hopefully quantum out of there, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble, especially if those guns aren't occupied. But if those guns are occupied, you're going to...
Which is great. You know, and if people bitch about that, then tell them where to go, because they're just being pansies. Like, you need to have these ships staffed. You need to have them. If you want these ships to be 100% deadly, you need to have the people in these ships to man them. They're multi-crew ships, and this is the point. And they're designing it the way they should. They're designing it the way that they should.
Be fine. You're going to do great. The boosted pitch yaw roll is 28, 23, 54. So again, it's not going to save you in any sort of situation. And you have 48 flares and 5 decoys. So countermeasure-wise, it's not going to do much for you. You're going to be able to avoid missiles for only a small amount of time, and then you need to just run as fast as you can if your guns aren't occupied. So try to fly this thing with your guns occupied. You do have 61 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 3.85 SCU of quantum fuel, as well as 4 SCU on a cargo grid, which we're going to take a look at right now. This is the exterior of this ship. It is a beautiful looking ship, and right here is your entry point. You do have one entry on this ship. There is no other way to get on board unless you break it in half. So with that,
MSR vibes.
You have a stairway, not a ladder. Thank you, CIG, for not making it a ladder. But it is a stairway. Now, the only other thing out here that you can go ahead and open up from what I've seen is right here. You go ahead and press this, and it pulls down your fuel area where you can go ahead and refuel the ship. Looks kind of funny. Love that. And then right here is the way onto the ship. You go ahead and make your way this way, and you have your entryway, which is a good airlock area. So when one door is open, the other door's closed. You go ahead and close this up before, you know, vacuuming the rest of your crew out of here. And then once this is closed, you go ahead and open the door, go ahead and get on in, and you have the armory and suit locker area where your crew is going to go ahead and pick up a gun, get dressed, do what they need to do. You have a total of 8 rifle spots, 6 handgun spots, and a heavy weapon rack right here at the entry of the ship, which is truly amazing. I love that. You have a lot of gun options. In this heavy weapon spot, you can carry a railgun or a Animus missile launcher or that new RPG they announced. I think that would just be a great spot for that. Now, if we go ahead and turn around, like I said, you have 4 suit lockers here because it's a crew of 4. And then if you turn around and walk on through here, you'll see the cargo grid right off the bat. You can go ahead and fit 4 SCU of cargo on this grid, and I would suggest only doing 1 SCU cargo boxes because the 2 SCU cargo box is a real big pain in the rear to get through these entry points. But the 1 SCU cargo box is not that bad at all. So you can bring them on in, put them over here, and they are safe to store. Now, if you look along the wall, you're gonna have a lot of these little yellow lights with the open and close feature along the wall. And if you hit them, you have a lot of your components sprung all throughout the walls here. So it looks pretty good. You have a nice little fire extinguisher.
Yeah, this interior is jammed AF, like really. But you're not supposed to really, this isn't really meant for cargo. You know, their ship, I mean, the fact that it's even got 4 SCU is pretty interesting to me, that, you know, but like, yeah, this thing is compact as can be.
Right here, which looks pretty decent, and you have an engineering terminal right over here with a relay. Now, if you move to this side, you do have another life support area, which of course, we don't have the life support system in yet, but sooner or later we will. Now, if you make your way through this entry point here, this leads you to a ladder, which goes to the top floor or to the second set of gunner seats for your left and right turret. So they can go ahead and get on board and take care of anything on that left and right side of the ship. And it looks pretty decent. It's a great view. And if you look straight up, you have a view to the pilot area when they're occupying their seats. So it's really nice. It's a really nice view, and you get to see your buddies up there. And of course, another fire extinguisher. Now let's go ahead and make our way through the next door over here, and we'll go up the ladder just to kind of see what else is on this ship. It is a 2-level ship, which is pretty cool. It is a really nice amount of space on here. So when you get on board, you turn around, you're going to see a lot of your living area for your crew. So over here, you have a nice little table. You can sit down and have a nice conversation, another fire extinguisher. And then if you make your way right on over here, you got more access to components along the walls. Anything with the yellow light, you're more than likely going to have a component. You make your way through your first door, and this is where some of your crew will sit, lay down, eject from the ship. Everything you need to do on this ship, you're going to probably do it here when you're not in the middle of a battle, right? You have a nice seat right here. You have 2 beds, which is considered ejection seats. So you have to both be in there, and that thing will just go right out the top of the ship. Pretty cool, pretty neat, pretty frightening. Nice little area to sit down and take care of any sort of business. And then these 2 white doors here, you can go ahead and open that up and have any sort of internal storage on the ship. Now, if you cross right on over to this side right there, it's the same exact room, copy pasted right on over here. So 2 more storage bins, another seat, more beds with the ability to eject out, and a nice seating area to go ahead and do some more work. Now, if we make our way through the door on the back of the ship, this is where you're going to have a lot of your components that are available on the ship, as well as another engineer terminal and relay station. So this is where you're going to take care of a lot of your engineer issues and concerns once engineering is in the game, which we didn't get to see any at CitizenCon this year. Too bad, but I know it is coming. I'm happy they didn't show something that wasn't ready, because we know exactly how that would go. Now, right on over here, you do have some cup spaces, some area to put some utensils, a nice little area to make your food, as well as a microwave with a beautiful looking little door there. Oh, look at the window and everything. That's really cool. Love that. And then if you make your way right on over here, you have a restroom. This is right by the stairway. So if you got to go to the bathroom, you're downstairs. It's pretty quick. Run up the stairs, and here you go. This is a nice little restroom with a toilet, a med box, as well as a headless horseman with a sink and mirror. Of course.
Okay, here's my thoughts, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy here, but like on military ships, yeah, there should be quarters, there should be the toilet and the whole thing. But like when this ship has a lot more space that's dedicated to the crew, and what is the multi-crew on this? 4 that it says? I'm not quite sure how much it's saying stated occupancy on. Usually they say 4 or 6. The thing is on 4, yeah. So the thing is on these military ships, the way I would use these, like functionally speaking, is I'd jam the fuck out of them. And like for a ground assault, I would put a whole bunch of people in here. Otherwise, I wouldn't put a lot of people in this ship. I would just have enough people to man the ship. Like, you know, the engineers needed in the future, the engineer will be needed, any gunners that you would need. And that's about it. Otherwise, like I think sometimes, even though I get it for the lore and for the space sim kind of vibe, I get it. But like a lot of times I think that this is a wasted space. Like I would imagine like more so like the Carrack and exploration ships, or the Connie that you know, that you have like bunks in like living quarters, and these types of ships that are more exploration oriented, where you're actually going to live out of them. where you can work from them, do what it is that you do, live in the ship, bed log in the ship. Later on, when you can group together and be assigned to a ship that's larger, so that you're, all playing, which is going to be a headache, and I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's way down the road. But these types of ships make me feel like that this is wasted space inside the Paladin. There's so much outfitted for bunks in this. I just feel like there should be other aspects of game design that have not come out yet, that I haven't even theory crafted yet. But like, I feel like sometimes on these military geared ships, a lot of this gameplay, is not necessarily going to be needed. Like, I can understand it on ships that are like expedition exploring ships or larger cap ships. I get it. But like on a Paladin, like on a gunship, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'd substitute. Like, I definitely would have one side set for bunks. I get that. The only thing I can think of that I would change is maybe for vehicle spots, and like for me, like, say you are using this, I really think it's going to do great in space when the turret gameplay gets to where it needs to get to, and I hope it shreds light fighters eventually in the far future, because I think these types of gunships should do that. But if you're going to use it for like a ground assault, I think maybe you should have some spots here where you can fit in smaller vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Or bikes or something, you know what I'm saying? Like some area on the side, or even maybe cargo space. I don't know. Like, I get it. It's a military design ship, but I just feel like when I watch this and I'm hearing this on the interiors of this, I just think there's some space waste.
Take off your helmet if you want to see your face. Otherwise, let's make our way to the...
I totally would use this for ground assault, and I'll tell you why. When the mechanics are needed, because all ground vehicles suck at this point, I'm thinking way farther in the future, Grizz. Way farther in the future. You're coming down, that turret can come down and it can aim down, right? Those two on the side are slaved to the pilot. You can shoot pretty much anything down below that you need to as you're coming into an installation or a player-owned station. So the second that they bring in player-owned stations and people are able to pop up their own like areas, if they're in areas that are lawless, we should be able to attack them. Sig, remember you said you were going to do that. Keep true to that. And then I'd be able to use that gunship, and I would pack it with people. I would pack the gunship with people. I would pack the Paladin with people, and I'd come down, maybe like 3 or 4 coming down, and just people would just like usher out of this. But the thing that I don't like about this is that one MSR spot, that door, like the only one door into the interior and exterior. There's pros and cons to that. I think, to me personally, I like to have more access than one door. It didn't work for you, MSR, and like they should have learned from that. But okay, they're gonna do the same thing here. But I would pack it to the brim with people and just like explode out of it. Now, because it's a liability, because there's only one door, maybe I wouldn't use it for that. I'd want multiple exits. Maybe that's what I would do on the other side. Put troops. Put an area, like, instead of like having bunks, have an area where you can open that shit up on the side and people and bikes can just like flood out of the motherfucker. That would be pretty good on a heavy gun assault boat. I would think that's pretty sweet.
Last and most crucial part of this ship right here, and that ladder that I showed you in the beginning downstairs. And then if you make your way on down, this is the bridge where you have the pilot and the turret gunner for on top of the ship. Now on the left and right,
there's a ton of drop ships that there's a ton of things that I would use as drop ships. Look at the Asgard, right? Like the Asgard, there's tons. Asgard, Valkyrie. I'd take a gunboat and I use it as a drop ship. Like, the point is will SIG make ground game important? Will vehicles actually be important? Because right now vehicles have terrible physics and rocks are just a pain in the ass, and they're realizing it, and they're starting to, with their planet, with their Genesis Planet tool that they've had since 2019, are starting to populate areas with less rocks. Have you guys noticed that with Pyro? In certain areas in Pyro, you can go stretches without rocks, but Like you'll see a lot more of that. They'll start toning down a little bit more on rocks towards like areas where there's habitable areas. But they really need to make the ground game important. It's vital that they do. And when they do, yeah, I mean, like some of these ships I'd use as drop ships, even if they aren't drop ships. Like if I didn't have access to the Asgard, which by the way, the Asgard is a home run for a ship. Like I think it's a good daily. I was muddling around HATHUR for various types of armors and doing some NPC shit. And there was an Asgard next to HATHUR and it was broken. And it was the first time I actually got to go inside and check it out. And I was like, wow, this is really nice. Like I love this ship. And Anvil's a pretty good one. I like Anvil. I really do.
You do have computer as well as radar, so you can go and close that up.
Yeah,
and
I get it.
Up.
Like I get it. The 1 point of entry, like I get it.
And another relay station. And then if you get into the pilot seat here,
you know, like it sounds all good and nice to make the perfect fleet that you want, but a lot of times in reality, given on the fact that like how big your organization is, you got to pull shit together and you might not have the ship that you need, and then you have to substitute a ship. You get what I was saying, Wooks? It's like, how many people do you have? What ships do they have? What's the experience? And then you got to like put together a fleet. You know, it's not always super perfect. Like you got every pick of the litter. You got every ship stacked together like Matchbox cards. And then you like pull them out and you go, here's the perfect ship for you. Here's the perfect pilot for that ship. Here's the perfect ship. It never fucking works that way. It didn't work that way in Eve. It doesn't work here. So, you know, the thing is like a lot of people have this perfect world where like, you know, unless you're Test or you're Old School Bob or or Goon Swarm, unless you're like a really large organization, a lot of time what you're trying to do is you're trying to piecemeal shit together, make the best fleet you can. And a lot of times you have to adapt the ship to a role, you know? And I guess that's what I would do here.
You do have an armor system on the front of this ship that is independently controlled on the top and the bottom. Right. So we'll take a look around here at the MFDs. First, let's take a look above us. There is a ton, and I mean a ton of window space here for the pilot. And then let's take a look down. I can't see anything. Oh, there they are. They would be down there and back to my right. But then if we look around on the MFDs, the power system's not too terrible. And then, of course, you have open exterior, enable VTOL, deploy, which is how you're going to deploy your armor. You go and hit that button. And as you'll see, it'll close up just like this, like you're in an AT-AT walker and you're going down the ground here and you're getting battle damage. You're going to close that on up and make sure that you're nice and safe. So we'll go ahead and retract that. Like I said, this one controls the top, and then down below, one of the other gunners controls the bottom. And then over here, you got power off, engine on, weapons off, and that would be it for that. You have 3 MFDs and a radar, and then over there your gunner has more. Let's go ahead and hop into the seat for the gunner just to kind of give you a viewpoint from that gun, allowing you to know, oh, another fire extinguisher right back behind me. So we're getting into this seat where the gun's already powered on. We're just going to enter the remote turret really quick and see what that looks like. So right here, enter remote turret, and you can go ahead and see it's quite a beautiful view, and it's really nice. You can look all the way up. You got a full view of above you, and then if you hit S on the keyboard, it go ahead and it takes you right on down, so you have a view underneath the ship. Was this a smart idea while I'm in here and we're on the ground? Probably not, but you can definitely do it. And so when you're landed, you have a nice view right here, and you'll be able to kill whatever you need that's underneath you. But I got to be very careful, because if I'm not too careful, I'll probably send the ship directly into the air once I push these into the ground. So we'll go ahead and bring that right back on up. Now, otherwise, that's the interior look of this ship, including this side gun, or the top gun. The side guns have a really good view of everything on each side. It's fantastic. And let's go ahead and take a look at some combat footage, see how this thing fares against some targets out there.
Damn. I don't know how well the thing with even lease is like this section, even lease. And I don't know how you can portray this to your audience. This is constructive criticism. I don't know how well you guys are versed in PvP combat. Like, that is the only thing that, like, when I watch these, I don't know how reliable these tests are. You guys vibing with me? You guys feel that? No offense to even lease, but I'm not quite sure.
All right, as you can see, this ship just outputs massive amounts of firepower when it is manned, which is just crazy. And I honestly think it would be really hard for any ship out there to beat this when you have all those guns manned. Now, if you try to fly this thing solo, you're just going to get probably rocked because your maneuverability, your speed, your guns can only fire forward, and you only have the side guns for your pilot, and that's not a good idea. But when you have every one of those guns manned, this thing is outputting over 8,000 burst damage per second. So anything you go against is going to have an extremely difficult time. So with that, understand that this ship is probably going to get nerfed or balanced in some way or form in the future. With that, it's to be expected. But for me, when this thing is manned, easily a 95 out of 100. I dock 5 points just because you only have one entrance on a combat ship. Can you imagine taking fire, having fires go on, you needing to evac, your escape pods don't work, and you only have one entry exit? That's
damn. Evenlease gave it a 95 out of 100 and only scored 5 points against it for the one MSR entrance. I would have to go lower than that. I'd probably say for everything I saw, I'd give it a solid like 80, like 85 maybe. Like everything that I saw, I'm like David Portnoy eating pizzas. You know, when I give reviews, I'm real rough. Like I'll never give anything 100. I will never give anything 100 like that. I've never scored anything 100. I will tell you that right now. But I'm going to say like 80-ish, low 80s. 80 to low 80s. Carbs kill, says Betty. Oh, well, let's get to the next ship here. And this one's interesting. So, again, 4.3.2, everything 4.3.2. We're going over the ships. We went over the newest patch and the purpose of the patch. Now, this one's interesting to me. This is a company called Gray's Market, and there's a character there, and Wookie's not here anymore. He left, but Wookie DM'd me and said, do you notice some type of resemblance here? And then it says, the best of the worst. And I have to say, that was somebody at Cloud Imperium, because I know, they love me and they hate me over there. And I feel like this is pretty dead on me. But, hey, who knows? But I would like royalty checks is all I'm trying to say. Okay, so, if you devs are out there, I'm telling you, one of the devs, they got their idea from me. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying this.
I'm in a fountain.
I want those checks cut to DG360. Here we go. Another one. The Shiv here. I had mixed vibes with this one, because I saw that they bastardized the Cutlass Black, which was, I think, my first ship purchase. And I was like, huh. Now, everybody loved it watching it at CitizenCon. They all loved it, but I was very mixed on this one, so let's check it out.
Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the Gray's Market Shiv, a heavy fighter. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Heavy ones. I don't know about this one, man. This is like some bastardized ship if I ever saw one, man. And I get it. Like, I understand what they're trying to do with the lore of everything. I feel like Gray's Market is going to be the new Chop Shop. Like, I feel like Gray's Market is going to... But you know what? It is kind of cool that they're putting in lore of a dude that is called Gray's Market, which is super fucking hilarious, by the way, because of the Gray Market. And then they slap DG360 on it and say, you know, the best of the worst. Joke understood. I get what you guys are saying. And then you guys are going to make me the one. You guys are going to make me the fucking one that takes all these ships and chops them up and puts them together in an amalgam of craziness. I mean, I get it. It's probably what I would do. Actually, if I were in the verse in this year, I probably would do something similar to this. So I guess I don't know what I'm very confused. And I could see myself doing this just to fuck with people's heads, right? So this is this. Best of the worst. Best of the worst.
All right, welcome back to another review. Thank you, WinRAR42, Heinrich, Cypher1, Seraph Omega, and What124 for joining me on today's review of the Shiv, the Cutlass.
That's cool that he brings people onto his videos like that. I dig that.
Ripped apart and put back together with many other parts of different ships. We're going to take a look at exactly what ships it's put together with. That top turret is a quad.
That's fucking blue and orange, isn't it? Was it blue and orange coming out?
We're going to take a look at
it's fucking blue and orange. The colors I use for my logo, man.
Exactly what ships is put together with. That top turret is a quad remote turret from their Hurricane, which is quite funny because the one on the Hurricane isn't remote. And it's a manned turret, which means they modified the hell out of it and made it work remote for this ship. And then you have two size 4 ballistic Gatling guns from a redacted source thought to be the Perseus, but we'll see when that ship comes out in late November. And then you have the VTOL engines repurposed as rear main thrusters taken from the Valkyrie, which looks pretty great on this ship.
Damn, what are you doing, Self? What are you doing, Self?
To be honest, but they do not VTOL. There is no rotation. There are only rear thrust and, you know, of course, forward thrust when trying to brake. And then you have engine.
Yeah, like this is. People sometimes they say I look so deep into shit, but they don't realize like how many people know me over there, how many talks I've had. It's craziness, man. It's craziness. And they're like, oh, you're just looking into it. You got a crazy ego. You're a narcissist, DG. And yes, you're right. But like, this just hits. Like it feels very personal, you know?
Specializing in long-range travel from the Freelancer on each side of the middle of the ship, which, again, it looks really good. If you said this is the Razor Crest, I would probably believe you in terms of Star Citizen and not trademarking Disney, right? So let's take a look at this ship. It is a $135 war bond or $150 store credit if you were to go ahead and buy it currently while it's available for pledge. Now, it's not available in-game yet, but it probably will be in the next few months. And then if you go ahead and take a look at its claim time, it does have an 18-minute claim time, or if you were to expedite it, it is 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Definitely not a terrible claim time, but also not the greatest either. You do have a total of 3,882 burst damage per second if you're combining all the guns that come stock on here. If you were to take a look at each individual, you have 1,975 on that top turret and 1,907 on the side guns, the ballistic Gatlings, because you have two size 4 breakneck ballistic Gatling guns and two size 3 Tormentor laser repeaters. Now, they are specific to this ship. You haven't seen these guns before the Shiv. The Shiv is literally pieced apart, like at a salvage yard, kind of like what I'm kind of sitting at right now, which you'll see in just a moment. You have 8 size 3 Arrestor 3 missiles and 8 size 2 Tempest 2 missiles as the pilot as well. Overall, you have an amazing amount of firepower, and I will tell you right now, if you are in that pilot seat, you have control over all of those guns. Now, only if you have that co-pilot seat unoccupied. If that co-pilot seat's occupied, they control the top turret, so it gives you a little bit more coverage around you when that seat is occupied.
Dude, it is the fucking old chassis of the Cuddy Black, dude. It's like the old chassis, dude. You're right, Wuxie. You make me like this ship.
But as the pilot, you can definitely fly this ship solo and take very good use of all of its firepower. You do have 1 size 2 shield generator out.
Like the top section right there, that's how skinny it used to be. Like the old part. The bottom part has the newer chassis but the top part, that top back, the aft section, this whole top section is like the old original Cutlass Black chassis, dude. Yeah, it's got that skinny back to
putting
it.
4,130 bubble shield, which is okay. It's specifically classed as a heavy fighter, but 4,130 bubble shield almost screams medium to me. And then you do have 34,300 ship HP, which, looking at the breakdown here, the critical part is a little bit, scary, because it looks like this ship is going to be somewhat fragile and might pop pretty quickly. We're going to test that here in the combat portion here in just a moment. Now, you do have a top speed of 219 SCM with a 479 forward boost, a 230 backwards boost, and a top nav speed of 1,175. Yeah. This thing is really fast. It is pretty fast. I mean, for a heavy fighter, 219 SCM is really good. If you were to modify the Gladius, you can get it under that speed. I mean, this is matching specific speeds of something better than a heavy fighter, right? Cool, and then you have a pitch yaw roll of 50, like 42, 137, dead on, man. And boosted 60, 50, like 164. This is classing with a medium fighter like the Hornet. Somewhat better, actually. And that's really surprising. This does not feel like...
It's growing on me. It's growing on me. I have to say it's growing on me.
Heavy in terms of, maneuverability or speed. It feels like a medium fighter, but maybe it's because of the armor or the shield. No, that's also classing as a medium fighter.
The colors are great.
I think the classification, I would put this more in the range of a medium than a heavy, and then you're probably sitting about right. But then again, that's just a title, right? Fly it however you want. It does have 48 flares and 5 noise, typical across the board, and then you have 32 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.65 SCU of quantum fuel. Now you got to be asking yourself, what does this ship fit into that grid? What can you put in the back door? Take a look right here. The MTC, no go. You ain't fitting the MTC. The ROC, you can definitely fit the ROC, but you do not want to back it in. If you back it in,
get out of here. You can fit a rock in there? That is nuts. Now they need to actually raise the prices of minables on moons and planets, but yeah, that is like crazy.
And you're not getting to the pilot seat because you only got that one entrance on that rear ramp. So you have to drive it forward, make sure if you have a buddy with you that they're already in the ship, and then you can get right on out and get in the pilot seat, go get into your ROC once you land and drive it right back out. And it fits great, fits perfect. And then you can also fit the other ground vehicles around that same size, including, which is quite funny, the Cyclone series. I drove a Cyclone right on up, but guess what? You aren't going to be able to get out of your Cyclone. It's going to be a nightmare trying to. So if you have a Cyclone that you want to load up, make sure the driver stays in their seat. And that just might be what works out best for you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior of the ship. Right now, I'm on the outside. As you can see, this thing is ripped apart, thrown back together, taped up. You would think this came straight from Drake, but nope, it comes from the new manufacturer, Gray's Market. I love the the play there, Gray's Market. You know what I mean? It's the gray market. Well, it might be a new, trader out there in the verse showing their face, so we won't just have Wicklow, but we'll have the Gray's Market making an appearance in games soon with all sorts of different kind of thrown together other weapons,
Royalty
ships,
checks.
items, which is going to be quite interesting, especially with Nick's coming around the corner in less than a month. That's truly awesome.
Royalty
so
checks
here we are at the
to
only
DG360.
entrance of this ship. Entry, exit. This is it right here. I'm going to say though, no components pass on this. That does have a gold standard, as in you do have all your switches and everything working, but no components pass. You can't access any of the components, which I'm actually quite surprised by with it being a new ship, but it is the way it is at this current time. But otherwise, this is where you're going to fit up to 32 SCU of cargo, which is quite interesting. You can put 32 SCU of cargo right here against this right side wall, which fits really well, and you can walk right by when you do it. It can fit a 32 SCU box by itself, or a multitude of other items right here on this grid, which looks pretty good. So as you walk through here, you're going to see that there's...
Man, they designed it. You could just fit a 32 SCU box in it. That's crazy.
Quite a noticeable, similarity to the Cutlass, because this is the entirety of the Cutlass hull, except for this right here is where you'd have that side door entrance. So this would be punched out, and on this side as well, it would be punched out, and there would be a door here, and it isn't. It's just not there. Yeah, and then you have a relay station right here. So you got your relays, you got your fire extinguishers, but you don't have a gold standard pass. There's no way to get to your components. I was actually really surprised by that, because it's a brand new ship. And then when you make your way right on over here, you do have that first fire extinguisher on the left, which is nice. You do have light control, so as you can see...
Listen, that's just the way my ships come. None of them are going to have gold pass. Just to let you know that. It's how I design them.
This is the lights off state, which I could just finish the review like that if you want, or we can just turn them right back on, and you can see there's quite a bit of good lighting in here. We'll go ahead and open this up right here. This is the bathroom, and it's currently occupied, so we'll go ahead and close that. And then you do have 2 beds here where you can actually bed log out. When you're in the bed, look to your bottom left corner, not to your front left. Your bottom left corner, you'll see an option to go ahead and exit the bed. Hold your F and hit log out, and you'll be able to do so. Right here, this is an engineering terminal for when engineering is in the game. And then you have a nice looking weapons locker here with 2 rifles, 3 handguns, and a large spot for a railgun or rocket launcher, which is pretty nice. Gotta love that. And a relay station here. Now behind you, you do have 2 storage areas, which you can go ahead and open up, and each one of them holding 105,000, which is really good. Gotta love that. The micro SCU is a nice little area here, and you'll be able to hold quite a bit. No suit lockers, no ejection areas here. This is pretty much it. It is a Drake body overall. It is nice though that you do have a bathroom, which I'm gonna open it one more time. As you can see, come on out. Come on out. And then you do have a bucket. I don't want to get too close. I'm pretty sure he didn't flush his bucket. But you do have a bucket, and this is where the turret would normally be for a Cutlass Black or whatnot. So this is what I've always been asking for. Replace this thing with a remote turret, and you're good to go. And they did that, and they threw a bucket in there. Really nice. Now here is your co-pilot seat. This is where you're going to control the gun on top if you want it to be occupied. Definitely, just as similar as the Cutlass. And here's the pilot seat. We'll go ahead and hop in really quick. I'll show you a good old view of the area. Like what you can see out here, you got your A-frame, structure here, your A-pillar, structure, kind of blocking a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's not bad at all. And your power system's a little wonky, but otherwise it's a Cutlass body. It's got great potential. It's honestly extremely powerful. So again, as I say this, expect this ship to change over the next few months, over the next year. It's probably going to have some stat changes because right now it's pretty powerful, probably a little bit too powerful. So that is definitely a possibility of happening. Now, let's go ahead and do a quick sound test so you can see what this thing sounds like. And then we'll move on to some PvP.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Damon. Love you, bro. There's like wires zapping. Sounds like a bucket of bolts, man. It sounds like a bucket of bolts. I love it. Does have kind of a Razor Crest vibe, doesn't it? I didn't even think about that until Fingers said no Grogu seat. Like, it does totally have that. It's the jack of all trades ship. Fly around in the blue and orange, man. Nice missile shot. It doesn't. Just so you know, Grizz, it doesn't always mean that it's a bot when you see unknown on it. Just for info, Grizz. Some of these are flying like people. Like some of these like look like people are flying. The problem that I have when he does the tests like these is I don't know like how skillful the PvP is. Now Wooksy's saying like from what he hears that they're using like skilled PvP combat pilots. So, you know, if that's the case, this would be accurate. If that's not the case, then I couldn't put much credence to the winners here, you know. Yeah, mostly they are, yeah.
As you can see, this ship can definitely handle itself as what is classed a heavy fighter, but it's still pretty fragile. If you're not careful and you get hit too much on that body, you'll pop pretty quick. So make sure you're moving around a lot, and if you lose your shield too fast and you start taking a lot of damage, it's probably advisable to get the heck out of there. And yes, I show PvP footage and not PvE because typically a player is going to be a lot harder than in PvE.
There you go. There you go. He must have got that a lot. He must have got a lot of those comments down there. So that's interesting. That's good knowledge. Thank you, Evenlease, for letting us know that.
PvE situation. So this thing in PvE would do just fine, solo or with the crew. Do I recommend with the crew? Anytime there's a turret that helps give you an advantage around your ship, I'm always thinking with the crew, it's going to give you a better time because, I mean, well, depending on your crew member, but of course, you're going to have the advantage with the crew and not without it because you have a lot more range, right? But you can definitely solo this thing in a fight like we did with the last F8 fight, going solo.
Dude, Pepe, dude, I know, dude. He's rocking it. He's rocking that car out. I know what you're saying, dude. The paint on there, that's got that vibe. That's got that Mexicana vibe to it. I know. It's got a Cinco de Mayo vibe. I know, Pepe. I know.
Against the solo F8 with no turret gunner, you're able to output quite a bit of damage, but you have to make sure your maneuverability is on par or outmaneuvers whatever you're fighting. Because if you were to solo this thing against something like, say, an Arrow, a Gladius, a Wolf, or even some of the heavier ships that have some or same or better maneuverability, you're going to be in for a lot of trouble without that turret active, because then you don't have the range to stop someone from getting around you. So with that, this ship for me is a 84 out of 100 if you don't have it manned. If you have it manned, it's an 86 out of 100 because only a 2-point difference, but
I'm going to have to take a pic if you do it.
This thing can hold a variety of vehicles. This thing can hold up to 32 SU of cargo. It has a decent amount of fuel. It has a decent amount of firepower. I'd say an absolutely great amount of firepower. It's a fantastic ship, and I'm super excited for this to be here, and it just looks hilarious.
You know, I hate the 400.
Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the Gray's Market Shiv down in the comments below. Right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing, and you all have a great one, and I will see you all.
I mean, overall, I dig it. I like this. I like his format. I like the music that he uses. It's a cool piece of info that he's actually flying against other PvP pilots. I don't know how good they are, but it's nice that he's testing these up against humans. And overall, it's a cool channel. You guys just made me aware of last week. So yeah, Evenlease, shout out to Evenlease on this 4.3.2 everything drop. The next video, this is going to be great because I'm going to release this thing in entirety and I'm going to put timestamps on it. Should satiate the need for most 4.3.2 updates. Again, if I did not say it from the very beginning, I did log in and play today. It took a while to get in for me. When I got in, some of the inventory items were gone. The biggest thing that I loved right off the bat was tractor beam speed. Can I get an amen?
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen?
Tractor beam speed, I'm in love. Like everything's quicker, faster. The beam's like, which definitely needed to happen. Loading times are halved now, which is great. Very happy about that. So satiated, and very satisfied as well, which is the same thing. Now, not always the same thing, but mostly the same thing, especially when you're a fat kid like me. Everyone missed where to find Palantino armor. Here we go. Kraken knows. Let's see what's up here. We're going to finish it out this way. Check out this.
The Palatino set has arrived. Well, it arrived probably about a week ago, but no one actually noticed. So, shout out to Who's But Why, though, for harassing a developer into giving a hint as to where to find our latest adventure in 40% heavy armor RNG. No, it's not from the new worm fight, as others claim to have seen earlier in the PTU. Instead, at the time of recording, it's only been found at hostile distribution centers like Dupree and Greycat Industrial.
And Dupree has been an absolute chaotic shitstorm, and I love it. And everybody in general chat's talking about Dupree, because I guess you could stack some missions up, or the money, the rewards coming out of Dupree. Something that's happening over there. And man, it is. I just went over there to check it out. Oh my goodness. I got targeted right away, got in a fight. Man, it was crazy. I was like, okay, we got some action. We got some fun over here in Dupree.
If you're new or have never been to a hostile DC before, they are surrounded by a wide perimeter ring of turrets, in addition to a healthy or unhealthy complement of turrets attached to them. You can play it safe by taking a ground vehicle or YOLO it, like I do, in a small ship. I was, however, unable to test if the Red Wind line haul contracts on PTU take you to the distribution centers safely, as the intro contract wasn't generating. so there may be less power and prey options to entering the area. When you arrive at the DC, you're looking yet again for a brand new type of orange loot box. Now, those familiar with DCs will know that boxes are in all kinds of
places. It's going to even be crazier now. It's going to even be crazier.
Places. From hiding under steps to taking in the view above 4 stacked crates. Then there's some just chilling by the freight elevator. There are a ridiculous amount of possible spawn locations for these boxes, both inside and outside of the megastructures. From the combined hunting of myself, Who's But Why Though, and channel member Landry, no two sites seem to have had the same locations. It appears that CIG are finally breaking from the boring and predictable loot spawning that we've become accustomed to with Hathor, Stormbreaker.
So the random spawns now? Oh no.
And Onyx, making exploring the hostile distribution centers even more of a time sink than the aforementioned locations.
Right.
The base Palatino set is by far the most common, and out of a few runs, I've only looted 1 piece of Daystar and 1 of Necropolis. So it's going to take a lot of time and effort to get that full black set. And yes, before you ask, the torch is exactly where you think it's going to be. If you found it anywhere other than the hostile DCs, please let us know in the comments down below, as we looked at Sakura-san and also
it's a cool armor set
at HD PC Farnsway.
It looks cool. I dig
Until
that
the next
set.
one, fellow citizens, fly safe and beware the bugs.
Yeah, I dig that armor set. All right, there you go, guys. I'm telling you right now, you got a pretty good taste sample of what 4.3.2 is here. I wanted to put that together for you guys. When I come back, we're going to have some Star Citizen Machinima teasers.